So here's the deal. We're getting ready to go to a show. Getting ready to go to a gig.
Yep.
And the ride, which is, obviously our transportation system over here, we've talked about a million times.
And if you guys don't know what the ride is, very quickly, it's a shared transportation service for the blind, visually impaired, or any other handicap that you can use. You have to schedule your ride 24 hours in advance.
They know already, man. We've talked about this shit so much.
I know, but I just didn't want them to be like, what's the ride,
If you've just discovered this podcast,
right, then
where the fuck were you, first of all?
Where were you?
For the first, million episodes.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Go back and listen to the previous episodes. They're great.
All of them are great.
So we're getting ready to go to the show. Waiting for the ride. All of a sudden, the ride was here a little early.
15 minutes early.
And we're like, okay, let's just go. And we got in the car, and John already knew this, and I figured it out as soon as we got in the car, but this was a driver that already knew us. But he was pretending the whole time that he didn't know us because he thought he was being hilarious. He thought it was going to be funny for him to be a jerk. He's like, oh, man. All right, so eventually when it comes out that, we already knew it was you, and he was like, oh, I was trying to pretend, I was trying to be an asshole, because everyone's always so nice to you, John, so I wanted to be mean just to see what you would do, but you're so nice. All this weird shit, It
is awkward.
So when that comes out, he's like, how'd you know it was me? And
I just said, look, I knew your voice, man.
Yeah, of course, obviously. Exactly. It's one of the first things. I noticed right away as soon as we got in the car.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, he had another passenger there, and eventually he dropped him off.
Whom he thought was drunk, by the way.
Yeah, he kept saying after he dropped this guy off.
That.
Dude, the guy was not drunk.
I never caught any of that.
The guy was not drunk.
I couldn't smell alcohol.
No smell of alcohol at all. The guy definitely had a cognitive issue.
Yeah,
and
but
the driver just assumed.
Oh, okay. Well, he said that the transfer driver told him his passenger was drunk. Did you catch that?
No way. Yeah, I did catch that. But that's what I'm saying. The driver just assumed.
Right. Okay.
But he definitely wasn't. I didn't smell any
He was
alcohol.
one fry short from a Happy Meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
So.
But So, anyways. So we start talking because now we're the only ones in the car, and all of a sudden he feels more free to talk about different things.
Boy, does he!
And so me and John start laughing and talking about the gig that we're going to and about the podcast and all this stuff. And something comes up. Somehow this comes up. I don't remember exactly how it came up.
I'm trying to think, and I can't.
I think you mentioned something about a story.
No. I said. How's the celery going?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so here's the story, apparently, it was told to us.
Shit, I just said his name. I didn't want to.
Oh, well. We'll beep that out.
Okay, beep it out.
So here's the story. According to this guy, he was trying to snack healthy, which is hilarious because he is freaking huge, all right? So he's on the job. He's a driver. He's driving 12 hours a day. Right. He wants to snack healthy. Mm-hmm. His thought is, I'm just going to buy tons of celery. I myself love celery. I eat a lot of celery. Celery, as you know.
Yep.
But so he's eating stalks and stalks of celery every day, every single day on the job. And because his body is so destroyed by all the junk he's been eating his whole life. The celery is so healthy for him that it's actually giving him a bad reaction and wants to get rid of all the crap that's in his system.
Right.
Literally.
Right, literally, indeed.
So here's where the story gets interesting. So he's telling us this story. I'm eating celery. I'm working. It's the afternoon shift. And there's some traffic, and I need to go take a shit. I need to go take a shit so bad, and I'm stuck in traffic. And I couldn't control it. I shit my pants. I shit my pants so bad, it was everywhere. No. It was like oil on my back.
We could
running.
we could leave this story alone, but he went in detail.
So he
about
is giving us like it was like running down my back and down my pants,
down my legs.
and it was like oil, and it was like watery, and the celery was like cleaning my system. I'm like, all right, dude, this is just getting crazy here, and he's telling us this. He's alone in the car. I guess the first time it happens.
Right.
And he's like, I called it in, and I went back home, and I took a shower, and I washed myself. Thankfully, no one saw me. I cleaned up. I called them back, and I say, do you need me? You know? And they said, yes, we're short on drivers. It'd be great if you could come back. Are you feeling okay? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I am. First of all, that's his first mistake. Why?
I would have never went back.
Why would you go back?
If you're not feeling well, you're not going to want to drive for hours.
If you're literally feeling like shit,
right.
Why would you go back? So you just took a shit on the job inside a car that you have to drive for 12 hours. Imagine the smell. All right, so
he did say he washed up, grabbed a towel, went back on the job.
This is the funny part.
I don't get that.
So so on the way back to the job, he grabs a towel and a plastic bag. And I'm thinking to myself, what is he going to do with this stuff? You know? What is he going to shit his pants and then throw it in the bag? But where is he going to change? Whatever the thought process was, we didn't catch it.
Right.
I think what he did is my thought is he put the towel on the seat.
I think you're right.
You know, so that it wouldn't like go
Drain
on the
out.
seat, which is
a smart move.
It's a smart move, but it's anyway.
But then he tells us again. He
No,
goes back.
no, it gets better. It gets better.
Okay,
So
go
he
ahead.
says yes. I'll go back.
Right.
I'll go back and I'll help you guys out. So he's driving. He picks up this lady. He's driving her home. They hit some traffic, and all of a sudden, oh shit! I need to take a shit again. And he's holding, and he can't hold it anymore. So he lets it go. Takes a shit
Again.
again.
Second time.
Second time on the job, same day. Takes a celery shit. And here's where it gets great. He's driving around. They're stuck in traffic. And all of a sudden, from the back seat, the passenger goes, "Yo, smells sour in here."
And then he turns around and goes, "No, you smell sour."
He goes, "Maybe you're sour."
Oh.
And he's like so proud of the fact that I tried to make light of it and tell a joke. So I'm like, no, you smell sour. You're sour. Maybe you're sour. And then he's like, so I ask her, you want me to open your window a bit? I'm pretending like nothing happened. Meanwhile, this shit's running down my legs and it's like oil dripping down my crack.
It's like water.
It's like water and oil dripping. I'm like, oh my god, dude. He's like telling
Such a terrible visual.
So somehow he gets through this,
right.
And then he's telling us the story of so I live in this apartment complex, and I'm walking in, and I'm so thankful that no one sees me walking in after my shift, and I'm looking at my back, and there's all this scrap running into my shoes, running down my legs.
So
and I'm holding the towel. He makes it home.
He makes it home okay.
He makes it home okay, and then he decides no more celery. So pretty much like no more healthy snacks.
Right. No more healthy sauce. No more celery for lunch.
How bad does it get that you shit yourself like that? I mean, obviously, okay.
I've told.
Here's the thing: we've talked about this on the podcast.
I've told this story before. When I originally went back from being a vegetarian to eating meat again, I got very sick.
Yes.
Very sick.
Yes.
For
your
a while.
system gets shocked.
For a while.
It's normal. I was eating only chicken for months. Yeah. And then went back to, I just couldn't stop the barbecue. So I went back and I was like, oh, it feels horrible. But then it was amazing. But anyway, so it's just, the thing is, the story itself is already really bad. But the fact that he was so proud of himself telling this story, and the fact that he went back to work.
He's a nice guy. He means well. He's dedicated to his job. That's pretty clear.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely has got some dedication.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how bad does it need to get? And I guess I shouldn't say that because I've told stories on the podcast before where something like that has happened to myself.
I've told it too.
And so have you, and it's not
No,
fun.
it's terrible.
It's not fun. It's not definitely not my proudest moment, but it's interesting stuff for the podcast. Might as well just be honest.
Yep.
But, and here's the thing, too, that I was telling you about after he told us about the story. He dropped us off at, somewhere.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
Oh, sorry.
He dropped us off at a Burger King. But the interesting thing about him is that he's so nice, but you can tell...
Very nice guy.
You can tell that there's some developmental cognitive delay.
Something.
And... I feel like we've been talking about this for a few episodes now. We've been meeting a lot of people with this issue.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling the first time I ever met him, even before this time, I had a feeling like...
Without me in the car?
Without you being there.
Okay.
I had this feeling that, this is one of those guys...
What brought you to that conclusion, though?
Something about the way he talks,
okay.
In a way he tries to be super nice but kind of creepy at the same time.
Right, super nice, super creepy.
My thought was from the beginning, this guy's gonna snap one day and just kill somebody.
Well, we better edit his name.
No, we're gonna edit his name.
I know,
sure.
but I'm just joking.
But
I'm
man,
being silly.
There's definitely this feeling that he might eventually snap and kill somebody.
I picked that up too. But I didn't pick that up until last night.
Really?
And I've probably had him drive me 4 times.
Dude, I knew it from the first day.
Wow, you picked it right up, huh?
I knew it from the first day.
Wow.
Something so weird about him.
I didn't.
And yeah, I feel bad saying that.
No.
Maybe it will never happen, hopefully.
I hope not.
But I guess let's just put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if I turn on the 7 o'clock news and it's like,
Driver goes
crazy or
berserk.
something. Berserker.
Berserker. So he was nice enough to drop us off at a BK.
Oh, another funny story he told us. Let's tell this one first. Too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
So he starts cracking up about some passenger. He's trying to tell us a story and say how funny it was, but the thing is he sucks at telling details. So he's like, this one time I had this woman, and she said something that was so funny. You know what she said? And we're like, what'd she say? He goes, she said, I used to have big breastises. And he starts cracking up as he's telling us this. And it's funny, but it's not cracking up funny. So obviously we're laughing with him, but it's more because of his reaction to it.
And his delivery.
Maybe you mean breasts. It was so funny. I don't even... And we're asking him for details. So what was the conversation about? What was happening? He couldn't tell us. So we didn't get the gist of the story. But it was just hilarious. I thought that he was talking about this lady who said breastises instead of breasts. But he had no idea how to tell us the story. So it really
he had
wasn't
no idea
funny.
of age and everything. What I thought was
nothing.
odd.
No details.
Because wouldn't that be the first thing you pick up on? Age?
Dude, it's how do you even start talking about tits with your passenger?
No, you can't. You can't.
I don't understand it. I don't know how that
can't.
happened. But then again, he had literally just finished telling us that he shit his pants. So who knows? Maybe he talks about the weirdest things with his passengers. I don't even want to know about.
Maybe.
So anyway, he dropped us off at a Burger King because obviously we were going to the gig. We didn't want to spend money buying horrible
food,
venue
they
food.
didn't even have.
They did, but super expensive.
Oh.
So we didn't want to buy venue food, and obviously we went for the healthiest thing that we could think of,
BK,
Burger
baby.
King. But to be fair, it was the nearest thing that was closest to the venue, 2 blocks away from the venue, closest place to eat.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the experience that you and I both noted.
Right.
And I don't mean to single people out, but why is it that whenever there are, and I must have mentioned this a little bit on the previous episode, so it kind of goes along with that. But when we get people that work at these places who come from other cultures, they're so scared of helping us out.
Terrible.
And
Scared.
we're like asking them, so what's in the, what is the, what's your number 8? What's your, what's in your $5 menu? What's in your whatever? They
Right.
couldn't tell us anything, and they weren't helpful at all. Like, some poor woman that was standing in line behind us had to help us out to, like, find
The drink
the
fountain,
drink
the
fountains and all this
table.
stuff, and find a table, because they're basically just like scared to deal with us. I don't know. They think like blindness is contagious
They
or some
must.
shit.
And
It's
dude,
really weird. They were definitely Hispanic, which
Can I-
it's nothing to do with it. I mean,
Right.
my family's
Who cares?
Brazilian, as everybody knows, but it's like they were. It's like this weird social fear. And American
Yeah.
people do it too. Not saying that they don't.
No, they do. Plenty.
But it definitely happens way more with like different cultures. What were
And
you going to say?
I was just going to say, what's on my mind is that since they couldn't tell me what I was asking them about, which was certain meals, I actually ended up spending less money than I would have if they were able to explain what I was asking them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the weird
Well,
thing.
you wanted more than what you got. That's basically.
Right, but I was trying to get them to explain certain things, and they just couldn't do it. So eventually
Yeah.
I said, this is what I want. And they're like, oh, a number 8. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what a number 8 is.
Yeah,
we can't read
and
the backboards.
I think
The-
plus the thing that makes it worse is I think the girl that was working the cash register was
Yeah.
new there. She didn't know
Oh,
shit.
really? She
She
was?
kept asking the other dude in Spanish.
Oh, you caught that.
Yeah, I
think.
caught it because from
you
the
know
Portuguese
Spanish, yeah.
understanding it, and knowing like very basic.
she was
Spanish.
asking him
She
what?
she was asking him, oh, what's on the sandwich such? What's the number such? How much is this? How much is that? She couldn't figure anything out.
No.
But anyway, that was an observation, and that was interesting.
No, but it's
I
happened
thought.
more than once.
It happens all the time.
Much more.
It
than
happens
once.
all the time.
Yeah, it really does.
And this is
We told the story yesterday about the 7-Eleven. Same thing.
You know who are
Same
people
thing.
that I've noticed are really helpful?
Who?
First of all,
Women.
this is women, yes, especially like slightly older women.
Right.
But this is kind of funny. When you see homeless people, they always want to help us out
That's true, man.
because like I said on the previous podcast, they kind of share that with you somewhat, like being
The
a
struggle.
minority
The
in a
struggle,
way. It's a
yeah.
struggle, but in their mind, I feel like people think it's better to be homeless than have an impairment a
It's
lot of
probably
times.
true.
And I
It's
also said
probably
this
true.
on the previous episode, so I feel like I'm rehashing
No,
a lot of stuff.
Don't worry about it.
But it kind of goes with this conversation. And the other thing too, this is another thing that I've noticed a lot. Black people help us out a lot,
That's true.
and they're super nice usually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, obviously, as you know me, being in social work and in psychology, I live around people who talk about political correctness all the time, and I am the type of person who doesn't really care much about political correctness, but I also am the type of person who doesn't really have any like, I don't think I have any biases. I joke around a lot, but I don't really care about it. But I've definitely noticed that like African American people are usually the ones who help us out the most.
True. Yeah,
And
I've noticed.
I don't know why that is. It just kind of happens that way. And if you listen to certain people, like certain talk shows or other people who talk about like culture and stuff, racist people, let's just put it that way.
Right.
They talk so much crap about different cultures and things, but they're the ones who usually help us out the most.
That's true.
The other minorities.
That's true. Because I think you're right. I think they see us and they identify with something there.
Yeah, there's something there.
They may not know what themselves, but they know something is there.
Yeah. And it's interesting.
And it's true, man.
And when we were walking from Burger King, to jump forward to
Yeah,
that, when we
okay.
were walking from Burger King, the guy who helped us out was Indian.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and he was helping us out. And this was hilarious. On the way to Burger King, on the way from Burger King to the venue, you kept walking into like signs.
Yeah, I did, man.
I think you walked into like 3 or 4 different
in a
poles,
row almost.
in a row. And I'm like, oh my god, you okay? But honestly, it's hilarious because
I was like bashing my head pretty hard.
God. It's funny.
One branch caught right above my eye too, like it almost
blinded
made
you,
my eye.
huh?
Yeah, it could have.
Was that your fake eye?
No, there's a real one. That's
What's
what concerned me. I wouldn't care if it was the fake eye.
It would have just like
Since
come
I only
out
got
and
one,
started
man.
rolling.
You know, it's pop right out. Imagine that ER trip.
Oh man,
my fucking eye popped out.
So
a branch.
we were literally just like fucking walking around, crossing these streets,
side
streets, not caring about like traffic, anything.
We
just
fucking walked right
walking.
into traffic.
Dude, oh man, but it was funny. You kept bumping into these signs. I kept laughing my ass off. I was still worried about it because I was worried that you were okay, but it's still funny. Because when it's your friends, it's always funny.
It's funny, dude.
You know, like if it happened to me, I'd probably laugh at it myself, obviously. So
I did afterwards.
You did, yeah, you did. But it's just one of those things that like it pisses you off when you're walking,
moment.
but then you're like, oh,
because you don't expect it. You know,
yeah,
it's the initial shock of oh shit, I just walked into a pole.
Yeah, of course. Eventually, this guy just sees us like walking into poles and is like, all right, let me help you. Let me help these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He was an Indian guy. He helped us out, get to the venue.
For sure.
And here is the dessert. We get to the venue. We walk in and we're thinking like, fuck, show already started. There's no one at the door. We walk in and we're thinking, fuck, this place empty.
There's nobody here.
There's no one here. But the band was playing.
Yeah,
and
it was like, Ed Kowalczyk from the band Live.
Yeah.
Doing the solo.
X Live.
X Band Live, whatever.
Ex-vocalist of the band Live.
Thank you. Ex-vocalist from the band Live was doing a solo acoustic show.
For the Throwing Copper 20th/21st anniversary concert.
Yeah.
Acoustic. Awesome. But we'll get into that. But so anyways, we walk in there, no one there. And
I looked at Max and I'm like, what time did the show start?
What the fuck? What's going on? There's no one in here. Why are they playing?
Where did we sit?
Where are the seats? And I told John, I was like, I'm pretty sure the Brighton Music Hall is standing room or only.
I didn't know.
I was pretty 99.9% sure that was the case.
Yeah.
And so we're standing in a corner, and all of a sudden this guy walks by. They're like stalking the bar. And he's like, oh, it's a sound check. People aren't really supposed to come in here, but you guys can stand in. Yeah. So we got to fucking sit in on sound check.
Which was about half a song, but it was still cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was half a song, but we got to see kind of like after that, they were talking about the different gear.
Yeah, and
the different
amps, pedals and stuff.
The different pedals
that
for different
cool.
effects. The soundboard and how to work it.
The monitors for the
exactly
screens.
Monitoring the screens and the sound, all that stuff. So that was super cool just to see like after the sound check what happened there.
Yeah.
And then obviously you were like, oh, I don't want to fucking stand, and they asked you if you wanted seats, so they brought us seats.
Stools.
You right away you're like, yep, I'm gonna fucking sit down.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
And I sat down for like half a song. Like once the gig started, I'm like, fuck this, I gotta stand and dance. I have some thoughts in my head here.
Well, he played for an hour 40 minutes, and the cool thing was since it was the Throwing Copper,
pretty packed.
It did,
but pretty packed. I was glad that it was kind of packed.
Capacity wise.
Yeah, I mean,
there's about 400 people. I gather.
I don't think there were 400 people in there.
No, how many?
I think the venue might hold 400. 450 at the most if you squeeze them in there.
Yeah,
but it wasn't
300?
that packed, dude. There was
300?
Plenty of space to like move around. Maybe 300.
Okay, so
maybe 300. Like, I wish he had packed it.
Yeah, me too.
It was such a great show. He deserved to have packed it. I mean, the crowd was enthusiastic and people really liked it.
Yeah, people dug it big time.
Definitely a lot of like big fans that knew the material and stuff.
Yeah,
so
fun.
That was definitely cool. Definitely awesome.
Yeah, so he played for an hour 40. He did all
Throwing Copper.
Sequenced. Like from beginning to end, the whole thing.
Yes.
And then he played like
6 more songs.
6 or 7 other encore songs from other albums, which was really great. And then afterwards,
I need no one. Tell me about heaven. Look at my daughter, and I believe. What a great fucking song that is.
That is a great one.
That's a great song.
That album is inconsistent,
Turn My Head,
but underrated.
Of course.
Oh, Turn My Head was awesome.
There are
Bikini's Juice.
There are people listening that know why I like that song. Someone in particular.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyways. So
Me too, with Turn My Head, somebody in particular, sure.
Oh, that's funny that we kind of share that.
We do. That's
song.
weird, huh?
Interesting.
Anyway, so afterwards...
Well, by the way, this sound, I realize it now as we're talking, sounds kind of weird. We're not talking about each other here.
No. Just, Jesus Christ.
Talking about people listening.